I'm just starting a painting of some plum blossoms. I'm working from a picture that I took. Since it's like close up of the flowers, the background was out of focus, but you could still see the kind of shapes in the trees above it. So I was working like wet in wet, hoping to like retain the shapes in the trees, but I didn't really get the result that I wanted to. And I wanted these, the flowers I'm currently painting, I wanted to be slightly more out of focus than the very bottom flowers, which I wanted to be the sharpest. You can probably see I've already put on some masking fluid. The left side of the flowers was catching the light more, so the colour was kind of like a peachy pink. I guess the yellow sun coming through the pink made a kind of peach colour, and the shadows were much pinker. Whereas on the right side of the blossom, it was like a purpley blue shadow, much cooler colour. So I was trying to get that with the petals. To be honest, I just wasn't happy with the background. It didn't have the like volume in the trees and the shape of the sky that I wanted. So I just wasn't in control of the painting at the start. But I carried on. I just wanted to get some practice drawing some blossom, hopefully making the petals seem slightly translucent. Like I said, with the colour change, like the warmer colours where the sun was coming from. I probably spent too much time fiddling with these upper blossoms. Like I said, I wanted the lower ones to be the sharpest and have the most detail, but I just got caught up trying to make it look pretty. I was probably just putting too much time into these top ones. I think the actual blossoms ended up looking quite nice, but you can probably see at the top there's like a white halo, or like a light green halo, where I let the colour bleed. I wanted to sort of not define the edge. Like I said, I wanted these ones to be more out of focus, but I didn't let the pink bleed into the green, so it just ended up with a weird halo around it. And you can probably see at the bottom as well, the one that I wanted to be sort of the sharpest also has a slight halo on the bottom petal that I didn't want. I thought I was fine with that. I was basically doing wet on dry around that flower, hoping to get a crisp edge, but I don't know why the water's sort of run away at the bottom. I had the board flat. It shouldn't have. I didn't think it would run like down, so I clearly didn't understand what was going on with the background. So I kept going with the flowers. I'm planning to do some cherry blossoms later. But yeah, I just continued with these. A few dried, curled up petals, so I added a bit of brown or yellow to try and get those in. The centre of the flowers was really quite dark, and you can see a couple of times on the screen now, the sun was coming out and the blinds were kind of putting a line across the page. It was messing with my eyes a bit, like painting in a shadow and then looking up and seeing like the much lighter pink. I should have done something about that, because yeah, I was like referencing two different colours when I was trying to paint. So yeah, do that in the future. Keep my light more constant, I think. Anyway, lots of fiddling, lots of trying to get like tiny little shadows on the petals. At the edge of the petals, where they slightly curled, there was a whiter outline and then a slight shadow. And then back into light, and then gradation into the middle, getting darker. And here I'm putting in some of the blue on the right hand side, where the shadows were cooler. And then the really dark middle. I think having the dark centre actually worked quite nicely. It made the light pink pop a bit more and look light. It was kind of just looking like a big pastel-y mess until I put those darks in. So yeah, need to get the darks nice and dark. You can see some of it is a bit sort of darker pink, like a richer pink, more saturated. As I come down, I was trying to sort of get more contrast to make it look more in focus. But I don't know if it worked or not. I don't know if it just looks like the blossom is changing colour as you get further down the page. So I'm continuing with this, a few more dead bits, a few more dried up leaves, and a bit of orange to it. I probably reworked the areas too much, making my colours a bit sort of grainy or muddy. But the end result looks quite smooth. It doesn't look that bad. I probably didn't let anything dry as long as I should have done. I was kind of letting it dry a bit and then going back over it too quickly. I was impatient. And this last blossom on the end, I wanted to be kind of the nicest one. So I'm doing a light pink wash over the whole thing. And then, yeah, for this one I probably should have let that dry as well, but I didn't. I just kept going with it. Being careful not to sort of reactivate the paint on the edges, even though I don't think it mattered too much at this point. I didn't like the edge of it anyway. You can see this is a much sort of orangier pink, where it's like really catching the light and the sun was coming through the petals. And then I think in the center, I kind of cooled it down, made it a bit more pinky purple. And then, going much sort of darker, adding more blue, getting more purple colour, where it was more shaded from the sun. It wasn't coming through the petals, this was just more in shade now. Again, trying to get like the shadows on the petals where they curl. It sort of picked up the light or cast shadows on the other petals. And again, darkening the middle. I wanted to get it quite dark because it is, and it makes a nice contrast for where the light pink petals are. I was a bit careful with this like dark bit in the middle. I've used masking fluid before and the colour has sort of run along the masking fluid because it has a bit of depth to it, and you end up with like a weird outline. It kind of just follows the masking fluid. Luckily that didn't happen this time. I don't know why it did it in the past. Maybe I just had the paint too wet. Again, slightly richer pink on the left side. A bit more blue, making it purple on the right side. And I think once I'd got the central part of the flower done, it was just a lot of little shadowy edges for the petals, trying to define each one, adding detail because I wanted it to look semi-realistic. So just keep adding details, and I think I'll leave you to watch the rest of the painting with some music or something.